What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Dudeality podcast, where our motto is living comfortably uncomfortable. My name is Ian Perez, joined by Jonathan Mercado, Victor Rivera, and Chris Zora. We're four ordinary dudes with extraordinary dreams. Jonathan, what's up, dude?
What's up, my dudes? It feels like I haven't seen you guys in forever. I haven't talked to you guys. The text thread has been quiet. And so, I want to do a little catch-ups, how everyone's doing. Hope everyone's doing well. Thumbs up. We're doing good.
We're good. Two things for me is Mother's Day weekend was super busy. So shout out to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Hopefully they had a great, good day. Got appreciated like mothers should do. Should be. And then
whose week was it? Not just Mother's Day, but just two different people we need to celebrate as well. We got Teachers Appreciation Week and Nurses Week, right?
Nurses,
so like three total things going on. So shout out to everyone in that field, in that area. Much respect.
Absolutely. I think there was two professions got the biggest hit out of as far as COVID, like teachers and I think medical field for sure. So but also so busy weekend for my wife's our security business. Really good holiday, biggest one so far. So props to her.
How many boards did y'all do? I seen so many on Facebook, and I was like,
how many words? There were like 15 or more around there, and then a couple ones that trickled in at the end. But so that was good. And also I was very consistent on reading my book. So I'm reading Extreme Ownership. It's pretty good. Becoming a SEAL is super wild. I probably would never want to become a SEAL. It's tough, man, but sticking with it this time here, finishing that book. So two good things.
Or what are we, halfway through the month? We got time. No, we're not even halfway through the month. We're almost
about a third of the way.
So we got time. Good.
Yeah. Speaking
Chris,
of book, I hopped on it.
What you got, man?
Yeah. Speaking of book, I jumped on. I'm back on the schedule. So I'm trying to say I'm on E. So for those of you that don't know, we literally just did this and we had to stop because I didn't hit record. So it's a funny moment. I'm being real. So it seems a little quicker than more like most times. So that's exactly why. But yeah, I read the book. Just getting on the schedule. My daughter, she's completely different than my son. It's crazy, but I love it. I got my first dose of my COVID shot, so my arm was sore. I felt like I got punched in the arm a billion times. That sucker was sore, yeah. But I'm halfway there.
Yeah, getting my second one on Thursday, so we'll be done.
I'm not subbing for you, bro.
Go active.
I'll be fine.
I'm just playing.
Yeah, Gene is right. Like the arm is sore. Like a couple like 30 minutes after, arms is like sore, but it's like to me it was no big deal. So yeah. I'm sticking with that positive mindset when getting my second.
Yeah. Have y'all seen
nothing's gonna happen?
I don't know if you're on TikTok or not, but there's like videos of people putting a magnet on their arm where they got their shot and it's like sticking to it, but not the other side. I don't know if it's real or not, but
I'm sure that's some fake thing.
I've seen a couple.
I want to say there's like a middle, like a middle chip in there or something like that. That's why it's sticking there.
They're tracking you.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I'll let you know.
They're already tracking us. Guess what? It's called the cell phone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they already did that
right now.
What y'all got, Chris?
Yeah, man. Like I was telling these guys before you jumped on, I'm working. I just finished working my 7th straight day.
Open your eyes, folks.
I'm tired too. Like I'm on E too. Like I just worked 12, 13-hour days for the 7 days straight. So, and I've been also trying to read in the meantime, trying to stay on that grind too.
I got a question for you guys who are working like straight up. What are you doing to fill back up? Because you can't keep going down like this road, this path, right? What do you need to do to fill back up? What are you guys doing? Or are you guys doing anything at all? Y'all just trying to make it on the other side?
Right now, I've just been grinding.
To me, just been squeezing in the workout in. That's helped me. Just squeezing the workout. Today, I didn't get to go like my regular hour like workout. But I'll put in like 30 minutes. Like I squeezed it in. Kids around me and everything. I just got it in. That kind of helped. As far as like reloading, kind of reset, take a shower, always helps. I've been taking a shower now. I've been shifting like from the morning to like midday or like just before it, after 2, and that's kind of helped refresh me. Kind of wakes me up a little bit more.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. Being strategic on when to shower to wake you up. Chris, besides work, man, what's up? What book are you reading?
The Shoe Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
Tell
about
us a
Phil
little something
Knight.
about that.
So far from what I've read, it's like just kind of talking about how Phil Knight, the way he started out Nike. I mean, I haven't even gotten to the point where it changes over to Nike. It first started as like the company was called Blue Ribbon, and that was because he was crazy enough to fly out to Japan to meet up with this shoe company that he wanted to bring to the U.S. and sell out in the U.S. And they liked his spiel, but when they asked him, "Oh, what company do you work for?" He had to just think of something off the top of his head, and he said, and then he just thought about because he was a distance runner, so he was like, "Oh, I won a lot of." He just thought of a lot of the blue ribbons he had in his room, so he just called it Blue Ribbon.
Mm.
And then and they're like, "Oh, okay." So then they send him stuff. So when he got back, he actually had to make the company, and then it just kind of been going through how it's been how it started to grow and like how it was getting to the point where Adidas was becoming like actually starting to sue them because like their very first like shoe that they kind of him and his coach that he partnered up with for the company, they kind of developed their own shoe. Like they took what they liked from different shoes and had the Japanese company put them together, and they were trying to call them Aztecs, but I guess Adidas had like Azteca Golden or something, so they were suing him for the name. So then he was like, I don't know what to do. He was talking to his coach. I don't know what to do with the name. Like, I mean, like they're like, are we going to keep getting sued for everything we try to do? And he's like, well, what's the name of the guy that took over the Aztecs? And they're like, Cortez. He's like, okay, that's what we'll call the shoes.
There we go.
That's clean.
Rest is history.
And
And
just
yeah,
to
then
confirm, this is the guy that created Nike.
yeah,
Awesome.
and then the Nike Cortezes are classic.
Yeah.
Just to tell you, just keep it simple.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
As far as me, guys, I've been just in the hole, just in the lab. I told you guys I wanted to do a deep dive of self-development for my spiritual tank that's been on empty for a very long time. I've always been the savage. I'm gonna take your head off to get where I need to go, and it's gotten me to a point where I just feel like I'm hitting that wall, and my foundation is built off the wrong intentions, and it's time to just tear everything down, rebuild who I want to be. And so I've been reading the book Think Like a Monk, and it's been interesting to say the least. And it has me thinking a little bit more. So I'm not being myself because I'm processing things. I'm trying to move and maneuver in different ways and think before I speak. And I'm kind of a lot lost of who I'm trying to be. Like I'm in this mix of, okay, who am I, right? How do I need to respond? How do I want to show up for the day? And so, I'm going to continue to read, but that's where I've been. And I've just been in like a place of fulfillment, a little bit of like, man, just really filling up my love tank, getting ready to play basketball again on a team. Victor's going to be a part of that team. And I just been hyping it up to my kids. I just like, man, telling them like, it's super, I'm in this place where I'm just feeling really excited again. And it took a while to get back to that place because I was in a place of being overworked, babies, Desi back to where like I was in a place of no schedule and always being on routine. And so now that I found the groove and really have a niche into my routine, now it's just trying to figure out who I am to take me to that next level. I feel like I hit a plateau in life, right? I have the happy median right here where I need to sacrifice something to move to that next level. Like there's something that I need to sacrifice. There's something that I need to grow to be able to push me to that next level. And I believe that next level is going to be the hardest level to get to. And we're going to speak about that today with my man, Chris, who introduced the topic. Before we get into the topic though, I want to talk a little bit about sports. I've been so MIA dude, there's soccer things going on. We had boxing happening, and LaMelo Ball's crushing it again. Like, hey, what do y'all know? Can y'all fill me in? Like, I'm like,
did y'all see his over half court pass that was underhanded?
The underhand.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I would say that,
I was
man.
actually
That
just
was
showing
dope.
my boss that yesterday.
That's a very simple move, but that's so hard to do. Like,
Oh
like,
yeah.
that's very hard to do. Like, and that pass had speed on. I don't know how that happened. Like, you know, when you throw a ball underhand, it's not really fast, but that ball went like.
Yeah, he put some spin when he let it go, the flick of the
Yeah.
wrist, and the thing just kind of.
they asked him about that. Have you like did you do it because your wrist? Because you know he has that wrist injury. Did you do it because of the wrist injury? And he's like, no, it's something I've always done on the playground with my brother, so it's just natural. He's very calm. It's awesome to see his transformation from watching his little Facebook videos with his parents, and he was like
seemed
this crazy
so
freaking
dumb.
kid, just dumb, right? Just airhead.
He thought Pennsylvania was in Philadelphia.
Well, that's not dumb. I mean, I can miss that. Come on now. But he was just like an extreme airhead, right? Just good.
Yeah.
He was a kid. He was a freaking
Ditzy.
kid. And to see him kind of take over from what Lonzo has presented himself in the NBA is just calm, collected. I'm going to, not let nothing get to me and just keep putting in my work and my reps.
I would say because his way up to the league was different. Like he playing with grown men. He got exposure to like grown men, people that played in the league.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. And
That
then
environment.
lived on his own.
I mean, even when he was like 12 and stuff, he was playing against like
kids,
16, 17, 18-year-old kids, like and crushing it. So
I was talking about more of his maturity, his personality.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
His
For sure.
I'm sure as you
is
grow
what
up.
I was talking about.
Yeah.
Because like I said from the Facebook videos, it's a goofy ass kid.
And I'm sure he's probably still goofy, but he just doesn't show it as much.
Well, I mean, well, he was on TV showing this, but now that he's on like the bigger platform of the
now
NBA,
he's making the big bucks.
Yeah. So
And
he's
Rod
taking over from what his brother has paved the way of. Like, this is how we need to act and represent ourselves. Let our basketball do the talking. Very humble now. It's pretty cool.
For sure.
Yeah,
I want to bring up
his older brother for sure. The score was at least. I think Lonzo's maybe a better defender, but LaMelo's a scorer. Like he's a hooper.
He's going to be the better player for sure.
I would say LaMelo's probably better. I think
LaMelo is better. It's already proven he does more overall as a team player. But I'm freaking excited to get Leandro. He's a sharp shooter. Like everybody's like not giving this fool a chance. I put all my bets that Leandro is going to put up more buckets than all of them, but not be the most overall ball player. I don't think he will. But he'll put up the more buckets. He's buckets, brother.
I don't know if I've seen him play, but I think he'll probably be like how Steph Curry has his brother. What's his name? Seth. And Seth is a sharp shooter. Like he's made a name himself just for shooting.
He'll be like a 3-and-D type guy. Like I don't think like he'll get maybe like 5-6 shots a game or something like that.
He's gonna be hungry, brother. Now he's coming for heads. He's having to go through the worst out of all the brothers. He's having to take the most detours. So when he gets that opportunity, that platform, he has to go out there and take somebody's head off. He has to take somebody's job. I'm excited to see it, brother. I'm like, let's go.
Might YouTube him now.
Speaking of basketball, I got a question.
Shooter, bro.
Yeah, I got a question since we're on the topic of basketball. So would you rather be the star of a losing basketball team? Or would you rather ride the bench on a winning one? Like your team goes 0-62, but you're the star, or your team goes 62-0, but you're at the bench.
I'll take the star role.
I'll take the star role too.
Yeah.
Brother.
I would too, because you're gonna get
on the bench. I can't do it.
I'll take the ring and the money. I'll
I gotta earn a little bit of that. I gotta at least participate.
You do in practices. You run some 1-on-1s and 5v5. Nah,
you participate as a cheerleader.
Now, like in real life, like after being right in the bench in the NBA, shit, I'll sit there.
I'll take it. I'll be the water boy. You hear like I think the NFL water boys like make like 50-60 G's a year.
Dude, kickers, man, like kickers, they don't do much other than kick the ball. Shoot.
Okay, brother. Okay, we can have that argument.
That's true.
Let's go see you throw some 40s real quick with that.
I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it's the easiest role.
It has the most pressure too, brother. It might be the most pressurous role, if that's even a word.
I guess
you're
so.
out there
Pressure,
like
brother.
a total of
The
2
mental
minutes of the
game that you
game.
have to have as a punter or a
Yeah.
kicker.
I give you that.
It's like being the quarterback, brother.
And you got to be on
Ice.
point. Like you've been sitting on the bench, and you got to be on point.
You
Just come out
got
of there.
one job. You
Yeah.
cannot mess that up, bro. You
Yeah.
got one job.
One shot, one time to go.
Yeah, no,
One
you got
opportunity.
shot.
Yeah.
Oh, real
That's
quick,
true.
my man. Mr. Victor apparently has a fun skit. And so we're gonna hear this guy out. It's gonna be his first time with the skit row. So let's see how this plays out.
Cue the music. I'm just kidding.
He's gonna be like knock knock. He's gonna give us a knock knock joke.
A dad joke.
Knock knock. I'm just kidding. No, I thought about this the other day. I was gonna ask you guys anyway. So I was like, do you guys ever go like commando like in public, like wear pants or shorts or like but no underwear on? Just
Does it count if my shorts have like the built-in like compression shorts? Because like they're technically still part of the shorts, but they're not.
Man, that's like almost like an underwear.
It basically is an underwear.
Yeah.
It's another.
If
But
my
it's
shorts
super
go down,
thin.
if my shorts go
super
down,
thin.
they're coming down though. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't ran commando unless like I sharded or something.
That's funny. I've done it a couple times. I've been doing commando at home, like just wearing my shorts or anything, just like at home.
Ah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
never.
I'm
I
not
mean,
arguing basketball again, brother. If
the
you're
only
just
time
swinging
is
around,
like
I'm not
Oh
guarding.
no.
I'm very.
the only time I
hands-on
go
in basketball.
commando. The only time I go commando is like when you're in swim trunks, but that doesn't even count. But I had a friend in high school. Like, he was like my teammate like, in basketball and track and field. This dude would go commando 24/7, like in jeans or whatever. Like he did not. It didn't matter what he was wearing. Like even in, like when we were like in basketball short, like in basketball practice or track practice, he was. I mean, I guess he would put on compression shorts up for that, but yeah, he was always commando.
Hey, hashtag free the boys.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta, let them breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No, I mean, yeah, like I said, if a situation calls for it where it's forced upon me, yeah, I've thrown chonas away before. It is what it is, brother. Take them bad boys off and shoot. Actually, speaking of going commando, I took my son to go get some pizza. I took the family to go get some pizza this past Friday evening, and Kai pooped himself. Right, he's in the middle of that. He'll let us know when he has to go pee, but he's a little iffy when he lets us know he has to go poop. This fool pooped his pants.
Oh man,
he pooped his underwear, and so ain't nothing I can do, man. So I took his underwear off, threw it in the trash can in the bathroom, and he went commando. He goes, no, you talking about full commando? He doesn't wear it like immediately. Kai gets the opportunity. He's ripping all his pants off and his underwear. He is 99% of the time naked running around this bad boy.
I thought we're at your house with we saw him go commando and show everyone.
Yeah, he'll show you. He'll embarrass you too. Be careful.
Yeah, I think a lot of little kids do that. That's pretty common.
That's how Dominic
embarrass
is.
you?
No. Strip.
Yeah, Kai's definitely a different type of savage there.
No, brother, he sure is, man. Let's go ahead and jump into the topic. Mr. Christopher, what was your idea for this episode?
So for this episode, I was thinking like we talk about success and like how we're going to get there and entrepreneurship. So I kind of wanted to focus on like your vision and like how do you keep focused on your vision, like things to do to keep like your eye on the prize, basically. And so this past week, I think it was last Tuesday, took Jonathan and Vic, or I met up with Jonathan and Vic. Unfortunately, Ian couldn't make it, but we went to like the Lamborghini shop and just checked out the Lamborghinis, and I sat in one and just got a feel for it. Like envisioned myself in it, because like Jonathan and I have talked in the past, like how we want to have Lamborghinis. Like we're gonna get like matching Lamborghinis once we make the big bucks. So we just wanted to feel that out, and then we went to another dealership and saw like the Aston Martins and the Ferraris and the Bentleys and Rolls Royces, and it was just putting our like I said, keeping our eye on the prize.
Is it Austin Martin or Ashton Martin?
I think it's Austin because I don't think there's an H in there. If I'm
Really? I've been
correct.
saying
thought it
it
was
wrong this
Ashton.
whole time.
Foreign
Then.
cars.
I thought it was
It's
Ashton.
silent.
I think I used to say Ashton, and then
It's Aston.
Somebody corrected you who was wrong, and
I
then you
always say
believed him.
Ashton. I guess I call it wrong.
Yeah,
I'm
now I
calling
call
it
it wrong too. You should have asked the lady there.
How do you say it? And you want to buy this car?
You
I
want-
know.
I don't want to waste my time telling you.
Yeah, it's
You
Aston.
obviously don't have the
And-
money to buy this car if you can't even say it. No, but don't skip over the important part is I feel like people hope that they would have these things in their life. And they don't ever want to come to the reality of what it actually takes to get that, right? They don't want to find that piece out. And so they'll avoid that piece.
and that's what I wanted to talk about for this episode. Just like things to do to work towards those things. Yeah.
So not only did we go picture ourselves, go touch it and envision ourselves in these cars, we actually spoke to the guy, forgot his name. Sounds like a Christopher
Caleb, I
or
think his
Henry.
name.
Caleb.
I think it was Caleb. Yeah.
You say Henry?
Yeah.
It's like Christopher Henry.
I'm
You
bad.
thought about like probably like the
I'm
widest name,
terrible.
Henry.
Henry. He looked like a Henry.
He looks
And
like
so we needed to re-engineer of the actual plan. So this is a goal that we want. So we have to start backwards, right? So what does it take to get this goal? Instead of just wishing, hoping, man, I wish I had a Lamborghini. Well, that's never going to do anything for you. You can wish all you want. So you do have to face that reality of, okay, what does it actually take? Whether you like the news or not, it's always best to know. So that way you can develop a plan of action. And so, man, did I get slapped in the face because I had this false expectation of I could get one here pretty soon with a couple of real estate deals that this could actually happen within a couple of years. I mean, it still can. I just need to make my plan of real estate stronger and be more aggressive with it. But I did not know you automatically have to put down $100,000 cash to even consider purchasing a Lamborghini.
And then still pay $3,000-4,000
And
a month.
still pay $3,000 to $4,000 a month.
So how much is the car?
I was like, what did you say? Excuse
They're like
me.
They're like usually between like the lower end one is going to be about 250. The higher end ones go like mid 300s or more, depending on which
it's
car
literally
it
like
is and what
buying a
you
house.
add to it.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
on the low end, you have
You know
to
what I'm
your deposit is half the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, half the car, literally.
Stupid.
And so my expectation was, I'm gonna get two multifamily homes, 46 units, easily, have that passive income coming around 2 to 3 G's. I was like, I'm gonna get me a Lambo. But now I'm like, now I need the capital. Now I need 100K. So
now we have to just do a couple flips to get that.
Yeah. So not only do I need 46 unit, 2 of those bad boys, I now have to go do like a couple of flips to even have the money to put down on a Lamborghini. So now I'm aware, and so I know how to re-engineer my plan. Right, it needs to put some more armor on that plan because my plan fell through immediately when he said 100K. I was like,
That's
brother,
nuts.
Say
I'm gonna have to sleep in this bad boy.
I know. But it was kind of cool. Like I said, not finding out like what it takes. And the guy was really good. He gave us like our information, got technical and everything with the haul of cars and stuff like that. But does give you like a gauge of where, like, if you really want something like that, like what does it take? All right. So is my plan going to that? All right. So I think that was pretty cool, kind of being in that world. Kind of opens you up. All right. It's not I think sometimes you got to put yourself in the situation to where, like, or if you want, like, could be a car, could be one of those yacht boats, whatever, but like actually going there, walking through it, touching it, learning more about it, how to obtain that, I think kind of brings you makes it real, makes it feel real. Because sometimes, like you say, you can say, oh, one day I'll have this, or maybe one day I won't. But when you're there, finding out, feeling it, kind of makes it more real, and it kind of pushes you a little bit. And so
Yeah,
that's
I will admit,
you have some metrics, right?
yeah, I will admit, when I sat in that thing, it was a little intimidating.
Bro.
like I was like, wow, like this is real. Like I'm looking at it and like it's not like a normal car. Like just to turn on the car, it's unique. Like there's
Like a
so many
spaceship.
features. Yeah, it literally has things that would remind you of a spaceship.
I was trying to tell Chris, act like you've been here before, fool. No, I'm playing.
I
I'm just playing.
haven't.
I was
No,
like, oh, I want this one. No, no.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I have the opportunity to actually sit inside of a Lamborghini and rev it up, and just like the shakes of like, man, I don't. Oh my gosh, like the power of that thing, the feeling. It's like being around a live lion or a tiger. That's what it feels. You feel that power. Oh my god, it felt amazing.
And then seeing the classic like Lamborghini Diablo, which was growing up was like one of my top cars. I was like, that was kind of cool to see too. Even though, I mean, it definitely looks a lot more dated, but I mean, it still holds up.
Yeah. I do want to get into the topic real quick and what your guys' thoughts, because I did mention it to the guy as we were speaking. We could be sounding like douchebags for wanting a high-end, expensive car. What is y'all's take on someone else's perspective of calling us, oh, he just wants the material things?
Well, they don't know.
Why can't I have a Lamborghini and still do good?
Yeah. I mean, from my perspective, literally just talking to you and developing mentally, if someone were to say that, my answer is, well, you don't know them. Like, there's a reason they want that. Like, your upbringing, where you came from, there's a reason you want something like that, because that's a goal of yours that you've had since you were itty bitty. Whereas, yes, a Lambo's nice. Would I want one if I could afford one? Sure, but that's not gonna. I don't really have a dream car, but I'd rather get a bigger car that my whole family can get in over that. But that's just where we're different in personalities. So for someone to say, well, this douchebag just wants the car, he just wants the material things. Okay, well, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with it. You don't know his journey. You don't know his story. You don't know how he got it or why he wants it. So that's just my take on it.
Do you know what his response to that was, though?
It was a good response. Tell me.
He said, yeah, it's only people that can't afford it that are saying that.
And you know what?
True.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's very true.
I was wondering when we were saying that, I was wondering, like, is this fool getting offended that we're saying, yeah, I know it could be douchey, but I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been, but his take was deep. I read, or I'm reading, Think Like a Monk, and it's having me think of, why are you so negative? Why are you pushing negative thoughts out into the world? And it's because you're trying to shield yourself. You're trying to shield yourself to make yourself feel better, right? Why are you getting upset that this guy has a Lamborghini? Well, you're putting a shield because something internal you are struggling with. And here's why I need to get better, because I'll get defensive. But I, as the other side of it, if I'm buying this Lamborghini and somebody's telling me that, I need to understand that they have internal issues that they're dealing with, and I don't need to add on to what their internal issues are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's good.
That's the hardest thing in the world, because you just want to be defensive. Like, yo, what's wrong with you, bro? Like,
yeah. So I'm curious then, like, you can definitely tell that this book has kind of enlightened you to a specific part in your thinking or thought process. If someone were to ask you that, or like come confront you, bro, you just douchebag driving the car. Like, what makes you think you need it? What makes you think you're that good? What is your response now compared to what it was even a couple of weeks ago before you started reading the book?
My response would be just to pause and understand, and it's to not respond, and it's not to respond until I've found my roots of a better way of responding. Because if I just act off of emotion, then the savage Jonathan will come out, and that just does nobody any good, right? If I push him to the point to make this person feel lower than me, I still don't win. Like, I still don't have this fulfillment of winning. And so and it's hard. Like, trust me, bro, there's a long journey ahead of me, very long. And I'm doing practicing they have drills. But anyways, now it would just be to just understand that everyone has an illness, and you don't need to add to their illness. everyone has an illness. You don't need to add or judge people for their illnesses. All right. Just because I'm going through the spiritual side of me doesn't make me better than you if you're not doing the spiritual side of you. All right. Everyone's struggling with their own internal illnesses. I just need to be able to either support you. And if I can't help you, then I don't need to make you worse. Oh man, that book's good. It's good.
I told you you could already tell just based off of
good.
like how you're talking. So,
but I have to think more
curious.
and slow things down.
Nice.
Because I want to rip somebody's head off all the time internally. I'm just having to, respond differently. That's a struggle bus. And so I have another take. Let me pull it up. All right. So the next part I want to, transition to is we are talking about, even if you don't believe it, just believe. All right. So for example, let's talk about these big giant goals. All right. Why aren't more people wanting to have these bigger goals? Why don't they believe in themselves? Like what happened?
Dear.
I don't think it's that they don't want them. I think it's more that you have either failed in the past, and instead of working past that and just persevering, they just give up. And then so when anything else that's difficult comes up, they just kind of revert back to their shell, and they don't want to try because it's too hard.
Could be that.
Yeah.
I like that. I was also thinking somebody important in their life is telling them that it can't and giving them reasons why. So they're believing that person that they think highly of in their life is right, when in reality they're wrong. They could definitely achieve it. So they're listening to someone other than themselves.
So it could be from their environment.
Right.
That's what I was going to say.
I mean, it's out of love. I mean, obviously, but like I think we've talked about it a couple of times. If I'm gonna go try and buy a Lambo, I'm not gonna talk to my grandparents who drive an old school caddy. Like they've never tried to get that type of car, so they don't know the process. They don't know if it's attainable or anything like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna just add just over our environment that someone grows up in, I think shapes your dreams. What you think is attainable, what you think you can do. I think shapes your mind until you get exposed to something in a different environment that opens your mind a little broader to where like, then there's something more to life, or something more to what I can bring, right? Because sometimes someone can have this gift or whatever it is, and but not really cultivate it because the environment they're in just never brought that best out of them, or brought that gift out until they were positioned in a different environment, which you find that all the time, like people from inner city or from an environment that doesn't develop someone to be their best. But then there's that one teacher or that one mentor or someone that says, hey, you have a gift, you need to do X, Y, Z, right? And that exposes that one person to like, oh, I never heard this before. That's again, it can be an exposure to something different. So I think it's just, to me, it's being exposed to your environment to, thinking more than what you can.
What was that moment for you guys? Because our environment, because I'm on with what you guys are saying. As young children, we do not have a filter of this fear, right? We are willing to do anything without worrying about what could happen. And then as you grow older, the people in the surroundings around you, you start downloading their perspectives because that is your environment. And so now you are believing what everyone else around you believes. And whether that be, if your environment says you're not going to go to college, you're probably not going to go to college. If your environment says I work 8 to 5, retire off your 401k and probably work till you die, then that's what you're downloading. And you lost that meter. As a kid, you didn't have that, or actually you gained that meter. As a kid, you had no meter. The sky was the limit. And as you get older and responsibility and all this starts to hit, you now have this, okay, I need to be in this little parameter where it's kind of safe. Don't veer off too far. Just be right here, keep trucking away. Things will be, hope for the best. And so I agree with that. And where was I gonna go? So I want to go, yes, we're on. That's kind of how it starts. Now, for you guys, we didn't grow up in that environment. What was that click for you? What made you feel, who or what did you read that opened your Pandora's box that anything is possible?
I think for me was just I like always wanted to be achieve more. Always try to be like a higher achiever, like always be more than, always achieve more. So that was me. Always wanted to do more than what I was confined to, but not knowing really how to do it, or being exposed to other people that are doing it, right? And so but for me, like, again, at first it was just like, hey, like achieve that next level, right? So, none of my family members have graduated high school, did that, and then first want to go to college, right? So always doing something more. And so, but again, that my plan with that, that I originally had kind of, shifted to where then I became a young parent, started working. But I always had that fire in me to like, no, you need to, your dreams are still there. So for me, it was just grabbing and sticking to my dream of being financially free. I've always had that, right? Because you grew up in poverty, you grew up in, I mean, there's areas of obviously the world that are more poor than us, but I grew up really poor in like a good decade to where we didn't have a lot of money. Me and my parents, we didn't. So exposure to that made me not want to that for myself or for my own kids. Like, I don't want to experience this again, type of thing. So that was kind of driving me as far as that. But then I think it was just in just mid 20s, really didn't want to have that 9 to 5, having that moment to where like, I don't really want to, this is going to be my life. Like, I don't want it to be this way. And so I didn't have a sense of freedom. I didn't have a sense of like time. I didn't have my time. You know what I'm saying? Like, time was not my time, And so those constraints I felt was like, no, I need something different. So that was that moment for me, is just thinking of, no, that I don't, this is not like, I'm not under my own control. I want time. I want my do things on my own time. I want financial freedom. I want my family to be, not feel like I felt when I was growing up. So, so that made me shift my mindset from, I want to own something for myself eventually. How do I do that? So little things like that kind of, brought me to where I am right now. Still figuring it out as far as my end point, as far as what I want to be eventually. But I think I'm on my way to where I really want.
Yeah. So just over time of you internally wanting more. And then as you were wanting more, it just kind of gravitated towards you.
Yeah.
What you got, Ian, Chris? Moment, book, person?
Go ahead, Chris.
You want me to go first? Okay. I would say for me,
who's gonna go first?
Yeah, I would say, I don't know the exact moment, but I think as I started again, I mean, I've always been a dreamer. I've always had a lot of things that I've wanted to do. And I think once I got old enough to where I realized like it's on me to get those things. Like if I want to travel, it's like I'm not going to have my parents pay for my travels, or like if I want a certain car, I don't want my parents to have to pay for that. So I think it was once I like gained a little bit more responsibility and realized like I need to earn this, like earn the life that I want. I think that's what changed for me. And I think a big one moment that I will say that probably helped broaden my mindset was when I went to my first like real estate investing like seminar, because it exposed me to some like to stuff that I've never even thought about, never even heard of. And I mean, I've mentioned some of the stories that I heard in the past, like like the guy that bought his own, made his own car leasing company and sold, and then like was leasing out to himself.
Yeah.
Like things like
For
that, like
tax purposes, yeah.
yeah, for tax purposes, like yeah, just like I don't know. I think those seminars initially got my fire like going.
So investing in yourself, right?
Yeah.
Putting yourself in an environment to exposure. You are paying for exposure at that point. Nothing wrong with that at all. In that moment.
To be honest, it was when you invited me to an ET conference for your birthday. You invited like 10 people. No one went.
Fire.
No
Nobody
one was
wanted to
like
go.
not 10, but you
It was
invited a
my
couple
birthday,
people.
bro. It was my birthday. Nobody wanted to go to a ET conference with
We
me.
won't say they didn't want to. They couldn't. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
I couldn't go. I remember that invite. I was like, damn, I don't. I remember telling Liz like, hey, I was like, damn, this much. God damn it.
I wasn't invited.
We partied our asses off anyways. I'm playing.
But I would have to say
like
then,
didn't go to the conference at all.
No. On a side note, we went to a Mexican restaurant at Fire Drinks. But anyways, I would have to say it's then, because before then, I'd never really was in a situation or in a crew that thought beyond the current job that I'm in. Yeah, like what we had, like what I had now was I was obviously blessed with and happy with, but I knew I wanted more. I just didn't know how to get more, and not in a greedy way, but just like more from my family, more time, less like more in a sense that there's less stress. And personal development was not even a thing. Like I understand like fitness and like that was obviously a thing in my mind, but just like reading books and meeting people and talking to people and just improving your mind as well as your body. That definitely was because from that moment on, you can ask Steph and it's still a problem, but like I was all into real estate, listening to podcasts, reading books, and then I burned myself out because I'm like, well, shit's a lot. So, but
yeah,
come back on it. That was the moment. I think I was what it was before Dominic was born, I think. No, I think it's about, no, he was almost one. So it was like 4 years ago. So I was 26.
Yeah.
26.
I remember that moment, man. I appreciate you for coming out. Yeah. Or it had just been me solo, and that a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, because I had to drive because your goofy self was up at 4 for camp, and so I drove the first leg, you drove back, but it was fun. It was quite an experience.
It wasn't a long drive, guys. It was a Dallas 3 hours. No, but still.
When you got homeboy snoring in your ear.
Yeah.
It's long.
A little bit of my experience. Just because I want to go experience so that way you can relate to one of us if you're listening. And man, you have big dreams and you don't know how to manifest these things into reality. And my journey is a little bit different. I felt that I was chosen in my family. It's in my blood to be great. Now, whatever that meant, I just knew it was deep down in my soul. It's in my bones. It's in my DNA that I was meant to change the trajectory from my close family to the people around me. Like it's in there. It's in the veins, like ice in the veins, right? What we talked about last podcast. It's just in there, and I can't describe you where it came from, exactly how it came from. I just knew I was the biggest dreamer. I would spend nights on end talking about making it big, not just making it, but making it big time, right? And as I was growing, I knew this hustle. I knew this hard work. I'd mastered something called fitness. And I developed some skills and sharpened my tool belt with that particular area. And I've always been the guy that I would like, whatever you did, I can do better. It's like a little Michael Jordan thing. And like I said, it came from bad intentions, but like it's got me where I am today. And because of that, I've been exposed down this road of, getting better. I've been exposed to a different level. Entrepreneurship came about by a guy, and I was like, I can do better. And then as I'm in there, I came across another next level, and I can do better. And then that level led to a different level. And then I just started to just keep working and keep climbing. And it's been exposure. It's always been because I've been in the lab doing work. And because of that, I've been manifesting these things to come to me. I've been prepping for the opportunity. So when it came, here's the next level. Let's get back to work. So when I'm working and developing myself, I'm literally pulling the things that I want to me. And that's where we speak about vision. I've always had this grand vision, and I can see it. It's so detailed, and I can go to sleep and I know exactly who I wanted to be 10 years from now and for them 10 years next. And I want to talk about a major mistake, I think. And this is a quote. I forgot who said it, but I think it was, don't quote me, forgot his name, but he's like old school ET. Like ET looked up to this guy. The quote was, the biggest mistake you can do is not aim too high and miss, but to aim too low and hit.
Oh,
That's true.
Right. And I've never been that guy to aim low and hit. I've always been the guy to take the biggest jumps and just grab on to my faith, because I have this vision and because something inside of me is telling me that I am going to be great. And yes, it's kind of inside of me, but I believe that vision, if worked on, can be strong. So if you don't have vision and you have this glass ceiling, you just say, oh, I'm screwed. I don't have Jonathan's like big grand vision. I feel I've been working on it as such a young child. And I believe everyone had that vision as such a young child. Everyone had this grand vision as such a young child, as a child. It just got lost somewhere. And I believe it's a muscle that can be worked on. So if you keep envisioning what you want, it's going to get stronger. It's going to get stronger. And there's a quote, believe and you will create the fact. Believe and you will create the fact. Example, tell yourself a lie so many times, you'll start to believe in it.
yeah.
Like, it's crazy how that works, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you. Like, for example, you have to have dreams. You have to have dreams. You have to have a vision, and then and like you said, being specific. And I think that and coupled with like knowing who you are and not comparing yourself with others. So have a vision, and then have a strong self-awareness of yourself. Like, know who you are, because then it's very easy to like start looking at someone else and then lose your own vision, because you're trying to, compare yourself or trying to be what others want you to be. But I think being yourself and then staying true to that dream, that vision that you have, because it could be lost very easily. And so, but I think that's something that we all three have in common. I think having those big dreams, dreaming of something and then like never really letting it go. So I think all of us had failed or fell down right in the rut sometimes, but we kept having that dream, like, to keep fighting on. So I think that's awesome. I think for me is as having dreams, like I said, I never let go of them. And then for like Jonathan's been self-development. I think self-development's been kind of your thing that keeps driving you. Like I said, it kind of draws things to you and gives you that next level. For me, it's just always been just being better. I started self-development kind of before you guys kind of exposed to that a little bit, and then that's definitely helped me. But I think for me is just reaching that next level for me. Just I've been sort of like you, Jonathan, trying to be the best at something, but I always need a new challenge. For me, I always need something different, something new. So for me, it's always been do something, master it, and then but there's something more, get to the next level. So for me, it's always finding that next challenge that keeps me going. If I don't have a challenge, if I don't have something to kind of keep it fresh, something to look forward to, then I'm probably the worst person to be around. So that's something I've learned about myself, is just keep that vision, keep that dream, and then just keep going to that next thing.
So I have a question for you guys. So we've talked about obviously investing in yourself, and we put ourselves in place. Like we went and checked out those cars and we did stuff like that. But I want to say, like, since this topic is supposed to be like your vision and your dreams and like how do you stay focused, like what are you guys, or what are some suggestions you guys would say are ways to continue to keep that vision strong or keep focused on your dreams, other than just what we already mentioned, like besides investing in yourselves and checking out like the things that you want?
I got one. Vision boards may seem silly, but I have one.
I was actually going to mention that, like if no one else mentioned it. I mean, and that's
I've done them before.
When I thought of the name for our company, our real estate company, I was thinking like, what is this company supposed to be doing for us? And it's like it's supposed to be. It had two meanings to it. It's like it's supposed to be the vehicle to get us to our to earn what's on our vision boards, but it's also kind of like you can also take it as, oh, these places are on someone else's vision board to live in. So yeah, like you, the vision boards are good. I haven't made one personally, but I've kind of had them like on my phone or on different platforms. What else, guys?
The thing about vision boards, I just don't want people to get caught up if I just did a vision board, things are going to come my way. There has to be a strategic plan for each thing you put on that vision board.
And you have to look at it every day too.
Yeah, you got to look at it every day. You just can't hope and wish that it's going to land in your lap. Oprah said something pretty crazy. What you get, what you wish for, you don't get what you hope for, you get what you believe. I don't know what Oprah said to be exact, but man, it was up top of my head. But she talked about people who expect, she said wish is like something. I forgot. Dang, it was good. It was fire. I was just listening to Oprah, and Oprah is GOAT. But yeah, man, I want to go a little bit further than vision boards. This is something I learned from Bob Proctor, the guy who wrote Think and Grow Rich. He's like 70 something years old. Till this day has a goal card. Now I'm not talking about gold. I'm talking about like goals, like setting goals. He has a goal card that he carries with him every day. And it has his goals on there. And so he says, write them down is great, but to take it to the next level and actually carry them with you everywhere you go, so you can just pick them up and you can touch it. He's like, when you touch it, it just sends like these sensories into your brain. And now you're thinking about your goals and how to accomplish them. He said that was game changing, which is why to this day, he's like old as hell and he's still doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we did with checking out the cars. Yeah,
I think we all do a piss poor job of that. Victor called us out. When's the last time you looked at your goals that we written down at the beginning of the year?
Yeah,
I looked at the other day because Victor reminded me. He's like, yeah, I haven't looked at it in a while, bro. I was like, shoot.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna bring that up. Is like, is really if you're on track on the vision that you envision for yourself, right? Like, where are you at? I think that's one way too. You can very easily just quit and be like, I didn't do that. I'm just not gonna do that or whatever, right? Or just kind of give up. But it really is, if you have a vision of what you want, right? Buy a house or whatever, then you got to kind of have your goals on track of what you want, and it really physically like do a list, check off, right? Like we did for the Lambo, we did like, oh, you need this much 100K to put down. All right, so what's your first step? All right, let me get 10K or whatever, but you're working towards that to finally one day have what you want, even if it's gonna take you 3 or 4 years. But have those goals. And also I would say to help you kind of maintain that vision is have a timeline. Keep yourself that accountability, I think. So it's like, hey, be realistic, right? The SMART goals to be like, all right, it's gonna take me 3 years to get XYZ. All right, so setting a timeline to that, I think keeps the vision alive. But if you don't have anything kind of strategically, like we talk about, like set forth, I think the vision gets lost of what you want. And you kind of, just let it go. That's kind of how I feel sometimes.
constant reminder, don't lose sight of vision. And I found the quote by Oprah.
Give it
Since
to
we're
me.
talking about hoping and wishing, right? I think that's what most people do. People who just go day to day, hoping and wishing the next day is going to get better. And she says, this is code. Wish is a code word for I don't want to do anything about it.
Mm. You know that
That's
that
true.
is so much truth in that. All right, so much truth, because we always have that, like, oh, I wish this, I wish that, but
I
it really
hope.
truly is like, oh, I'm not gonna do nothing about it. It's just like one of those filler words you just put in there just
Yeah.
to make you feel good, but
Yeah, that doesn't last very long. How about like this? For me, it's not the most effective form, but I know for a lot of people it is. Is just giving yourself affirmations, looking yourself in the mirror every day and say, "I could do this," or like, I'm gonna be great." Like, just keep putting that in your head that I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna establish this company. I'm gonna do whatever. Like, but you constantly have to tell yourself that and just envision it like we've been talking about.
I do that for the day. I haven't gone that deep yet where I start speaking way into the future, but I do that for today is going to be great when I do my 5 minutes of meditation in the morning. Because, some days I wake up and I don't want to do nothing. But if I keep telling myself in my meditation, I'm going to do great, I get to do it. I don't have to do it. I get to, right? That kind of mindset. It does make me feel better. And it
I
helps
mean,
me shift the
that's
mindset.
yeah, that still counts. It's the same thing. That's still
It gets
giving
me through
yourself
the day.
affirmation. Yeah.
yeah, I do something similar, but I guess maybe in reverse. When I do feel like not doing anything, I'm like, I think about what I have, what I've accomplished, and I say thank you. I'm like, I'm grateful for where I am. That
That's a
kind
good
of,
one.
I don't know, takes the pressure off a little bit. And then I'm like, all right. So that gets, it's more reflective, more like, oh, all right, I'm grateful. Thank you for I got my kids, get this, that. Am I better than I am 5 years ago? Yes, I am. And what the heck? Keep working, fool.
Being grateful. The millionaire that I met too, about 3 weeks ago, he told me, he's like, hey man, no matter what you're trying to achieve, the first thing you need to do in the morning is get on your hands and knees and thank God. He's like, I do it every day. He's like,
yeah,
no
for me,
matter
it
what you
helps.
want in life,
Yeah.
get on your knees first thing in the morning before you do anything and thank God. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. So that's the stuff that I do. For some reason, it keeps me like the eye on the ball. Like, just be grateful. Sometimes you might get lost in doing something and you get burned out sometimes. You go so hard and then you're like, oh, right. You lose a little gas or you look kind
Bro,
of sight of things, like we say, sight your vision. Then when I think about, all right, I'm grateful for what I have, blah, blah, blah. All right, great. It's like a reset. All right, let's go again. And so
it happened to me today. I was in this 5-hour leadership training and they were making fun of me because we're on Zoom and I was like this. Well, I was like in and
man.
out as they snapped a picture of me. They're like, bro, you all right? And I'm like, hell no, I'm not all right, man. And so when to go on a run, right? So that kind of like, or go shower. Just, yeah, man, stay focused somehow, some way. Even if you feel like what you're doing, you don't want to do it anyways. Jocko, who's reading Jocko?
I'm reading him right now.
Yeah, do it anyways. If you don't feel like waking up and working out, do it anyways. And if tomorrow you don't feel like waking up and working out, take a rest. But I bet you tomorrow you're gonna do it anyways.
That's pretty spot on.
That's
Bro, he said do it anyways. I'm like, oh shoot. All right, yes, sir. All right, guys, let's end it. Let's end it with a quote, man.
You got one? Or you want me to? I got one right here, actually. Jack Canfield.
You're the
Says
quote guy, man. Don't mess it
yeah.
up.
You had like 3 in a row, so I was like, all right. I
Well,
don't know if
it's
you do
always a
3.
great topic to throw quotes, but we got to end with
True.
Ian's quote.
True.
There we go. Ian's corner quote.
I'm gonna have a little jingle for next podcast. But yeah, Jack Canfield says you only have control over 3 things in your life: the thoughts you think, the images you visualize, and the actions you take. So as always, thank you for joining us today. Till next time, peace and love.